So today's episode, we have a question that a woman had asked, and it's a question that I deeply resonate with. So, and exactly what she asked, she said, "I'm just too sensitive sometimes. I wish I didn't feel everything so much. It's difficult as an empath and a highly sensitive being." So, Rain, this is something that I resonate with. As you know, these past couple of days, I've been just feeling a lot of feeling deep emotions. So I'm very raw. I'm very raw today. And this is something I would love to get some channeled information from and just to talk about. It's rough sometimes. Some days it's just too much. I don't even want to be here. And I don't like feeling that way. So I'd love to find some piece of how to work through being an empath. It feels so deeply. How
Oh man.
to how to be able to get through this and want to be here for myself and to also be able to make a difference and just be here, enjoy my life most of all, just enjoy my life for me. So, where does one go with this?
Oh my goodness. I love you. Thank you for being so vulnerable. And you're such a delightful empath. And that's the beauty of empaths. The beauty of empaths is that they feel so deeply. And this is what's beautiful about you, Mel, and all empaths out there is that this beautiful beauty of feeling so much in a world that doesn't feel as much. So the world we live in has a lot of people walking around in a state of they're like hypnotized. They're in sleep mode basically. So they're not attuned to their emotions. They don't feel anything. They don't feel other people, and they just want to feel better. But they want to feel better not because they're attuned to other people's feelings. They can't live with how they feel. Now with empaths, we're so highly sensitive to the environment around us that we feel everyone's sadness, we feel everyone's emotions, sometimes even somebody's look, a word somebody uses, it hits in, it hurts so deeply. And it's because empaths are such loving beings. Their essence is truly loving beings. And anything that doesn't vibrate with the frequency of just love and there and putting other people into their perspective, when others cannot put other people into their perspective, which meaning nobody can put me into their perspective the way I put them, that really, really hurts. Because we empaths, on a very subconscious level, know that we're all one, even if it doesn't make any logical sense. Somehow, something inside of us knows that me and the person I'm dealing with, or me and the environment I'm in, are actually all connected. Somehow I'm feeling everything and they're feeling everything. The only difference is they're not attuned to how they're feeling. So, to allow this energy of sensitivity to be a powerhouse instead of uh, um, a draining mechanism is first, all I'm hearing is there a way to accept the sensitivity? To accept how it feels, the pain of it. So let's say a lot of times empaths will be living in a very fine environment, like everything's fine, but they're feeling so much. And maybe there's a part of the world that is suffering through hunger and another one that's suffering through war. But let's say you're not watching the news and you don't know what's really happening. But because you are connected to the world, because you are connected to everything, those energies of despair, of sadness, of frustration are not yours. They're actually coming from all other humans that may be also suffering these emotions. And so the sensitivity is if I feel that the world feels this way as an empath, okay, but I'm feeling it, I'm feeling this way. It's not really how you're truly feeling. You are just connecting so deeply to the collective. And there are um, pockets of moments that empaths feel it. You could be feeling it throughout the day. You'll have different emotions, and a lot of times it really does have to do with the movements of the moon or the planetary system. And now, not all of us are astrologers. Not all of us are going to be like waiting outside our window for the moon to come, the full moon, the new moon, all this. However, when we start to recognize, oh my God, this is just, I'm being moved to feel the collective. The collective feels in despair right now. The collective feels left alone. So when what an empath can do, what you can do is when you sit with these emotions that are showing up, and let's say the emotions is I feel sad, I feel like I don't have a purpose, I feel left out, I feel excluded. Know that you're just tapping in because you're in a very raw state. You're tapping into what the collective is feeling right now. That's what it is. So what you can ask self is, oh my God, this is what the collective is feeling. But because it's a collective, it's so many more than just me. It feels so intense within me. It just feels so intense because your world is fine. Your little pocket of energy is fine. There's nothing provoking any of this. Is this making sense, Mel? I feel like you
Yeah.
have a question.
Yeah. No, I did just write a question when you were talking. Like, I'm, yeah. And maybe you'll get to it, but I was just going to ask, like, how does an empath become an empowered empath? You know, like rather than being absorbed, and maybe that's what you're talking about in this, getting sucked into these feelings and emotions. How does one become an empowered empath where they can actually use this as their gifts versus just getting lost in it and feeling like it's this curse?
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that first of all, I saw writing. So writing these emotions down, but knowing I'm only writing what the collective is going through right now. It just so happens that you are I'm just seeing like this thing with a red ball on top, like a beep, 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 beep. What is it called? Um, a transmission, like an antenna. Remember our televisions before had these antennas? So you're the antenna that's picking up on all the information out there, right? And writing these emotions down, how can you feel empowered is be like, oh, this is what the collective is feeling. It's not what I'm feeling. This is not really me. This is the collective because I am here to just taste what the collective is going through. So I know who I need to become in this collective energy. So the collective is feeling despair and sad and angry at the world. And you just said so beautifully, like, I'm not enjoying anything anymore. I'm like, I'm not having joy right now. This is what everyone else is feeling. I don't feel like I belong here. This is what everyone is feeling. I'm not saying we as empaths don't feel it. There's a truth in that, but it's a very small percentage. But it's really heightened because the collective right now is going through that. So the best thing to do to feel empowered is notice, oh my God, I'm so tuned to what the collective is going through. I'm going to write it down so that I can clearly see what everyone else is going through and I can differentiate me from what the collective is going through. Okay. So I'm now separating me from the collective. Why? Because now I know what the collective needs of me as an empath. So being empowered, meaning this is what the collective is going through. I'm feeling it so deeply that I feel that it's mine. And I'm looking into my reality, and my reality looks like it's proving that this is mine, right? I'm having this interaction with this person and this person. So it looks like it's really mine, but it really isn't. Because if I wasn't in this emotion and I looked at what actually is happening in my this moment in my life, none of it is a big deal. It's all silly stuff in this moment, not the projected future. So that means this is the collective. What am I going to do? I'm going to remember who I am. Okay. I'm going to sit in stillness with myself. I'm going to write all this down. And now I'm going to become the empowered empath that I know I am. It's like I'm going to trigger my higher self to come in. Okay. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to send love because I've just empathetically resonated. I'm going to send love to everyone who feels this way. Okay. Because my purpose is whether I know they're feeling better or not, I know that if I'm able to project that energy towards anyone who's feeling this way at this moment, like I'm feeling, because I've resonated so deeply, they're going to be uplifted. I don't know how, I don't have proof. Source will prove to me. I'll bump into someone who might say, it was such a hard trip the last 2 days. I felt this way. And then something happened and I just felt better. And I don't know what it is. Right. Things like that, synchronicities will start to happen to show you that this is the way to do it. Does it make sense? Is it helpful? Because you're feeling it right now. So when you hear this, how does it feel?
Yeah. So, okay. So I see like what's connected, or I don't know. I just feel drained. Like I'm just so tired, you know? That's where I'm at. I'm just like getting to the point, like I just freaking don't care. It's just, it feels like an uphill battle as an empath. It feels like there's so much more people that are just into power and money and control. And it just feels like fighting against that when you don't have that, it feels overwhelming. Just like, then I lose inner trust. Like, is the heart enough? Is love really enough in this life? Or is it just like, I don't want to just survive this life anymore. I want to be above that. But also I'm getting so tired feeling like I have to put so much work and energy into that. How do I do it in a simple way that doesn't feel like I'm fighting against the world or really myself? I know everything's internally. So like, why do I keep fighting against myself? How do I stop doing that and just
So it's interesting. I heard that, people empower them, and I don't want to fight against them. To be an empowered empath, we're not fighting against those. You're just finding compassion for everyone in the world that's feeling the way you're feeling because you're feeling them. So I know that now in the States, there's the elections and whatever, right? You're totally, every word you've said, everything you've shared feels like it's resonating with all the people feeling that sense of despair and hopelessness around this topic. To know that, oh my God, this is what a lot of us empaths are feeling right now. We don't have control. We don't have power. This is what you're saying. This is what you're feeling. And only those people in this position have all the power. But as an empath, fighting against them is pointless because these are the ones that now need my help. So, can I pour that energy of love, and compassion towards myself? Because as I do that, I am clearing out their energies at the same time. It's like you're getting, it's like empath. I don't think oh, I'm getting crazy goosebumps. Okay. I don't think any empath knows this. I didn't even know this till this very moment, is that every time you feel something deeply, there are thousands to millions that are feeling the same. And because there's so many of us on the planet, the ones who could consciously be aware that, wait, this isn't only mine, this is me and a lot more of me. Okay. And a lot more of me, a lot more of those other empaths may not have the skill set I have right now. So how can I uplift them? How can I bring in that light? How can I let them know that they're safe and they're okay, and that they're going to be okay, right? I'm not fighting the power now. I'm feeding that energy. I'm feeding it through me first. I'm just like, it's okay. I'm allowed to feel this sad. It's okay. I'm allowed to feel despair. It's okay. I'm allowed to be this angry. It's okay. I am still safe in all these emotions. I'm still safe in my despair. I am still safe in how I feel. I'm allowed to feel this way. And just a repetition of that gives there's no fighting. There's no need to like argue with it anymore or fight against it, which is fight against the politicians, fight against that. As that sort of becomes, it's like a oneness with it, every other emotion, every other human that's feeling this emotion at this particular moment, that emotion is going to subside. Why do we want to do this? The more empowered empaths, or the ones who are consciously aware, is because as I feel that way, somebody else is going to start to feel that way. Okay. So as you start to be okay with the despair and the I hate it here and I don't belong, that's okay. How many of us don't feel like we belong? I don't think there's hardly any empaths that I've spoken to that ever are like, oh, I'm 100% part of this planet. I love this earth. I love everything about it. They fluctuate because they can't, because they are feeling constantly. That's why they're called empaths. They're not called compassionate people. They're empaths. They're actually empathetic.
okay? I really like that. And like I keep saying, like, oh, I don't want to fight with this stuff out there. But then it's like I know that, like I know too, I'm like, wait, it's all internally. Like if I'm having a fight, it's within me. So it's just like, okay, the truth is, how do I stop fighting against myself? And like you said, it's coming back home to self and giving myself that self-love, that self-soothing, right? That's really all you can do, and just accept it and allow it. Like, yeah, you're feeling sad. It's okay. Feel sad. You're feeling so I've got to just allow these feelings versus trying to like, but it's sometimes they're so heavy and so deep it's like excruciating where I'm like, I don't want to feel it. But is the answer like, you've got to just feel it? Or am I putting more pain on myself that I don't need to feel? The truth is, I'm naturally a happy, easygoing light being. But then something will hit and it's really sensitive. And when it hits deep. So do I need to just stop resisting that and just allow it?
Yes, because the resistance in itself is the fight. That is the fight, right? So you said it so beautifully. That is the inner fight. It's like saying, screw it. Okay, I'm trying to be polite. Screw it. This is just how I feel. And this is what everyone feels. So yes, you're saying you're a light being, you're skipping around, and then you trample upon this pebble, right? But it feels like a mountain. And it's a pebble for you, but and it feels like a mountain because it is a mountain, because it's many other people's emotions. It's many other people's fears that you've tripped upon. So it's like you're holding it all inside of you now. You're holding all that inside of you. And another trick is you could just simply say, all the emotions that are not mine right now, that don't belong to this, that don't belong to me, that don't belong to how I'm feeling, you're allowed to leave. Okay, but I accept how I feel right now. I'm in a state of acceptance. I'm in a state of despair. I'm in despair, and it's okay. Okay, and it's as if you're going to pour light inside of that. You're going to allow it to over exasperate, like it can overflow out of you. Nothing will happen. You won't die, but you're definitely feeling all the energies, all the people that are feeling this emotion right now. That's what you're truly feeling. So it's like, can I give permission for all these people to be okay with how they feel? If I fall in love with myself in this feeling, that falling in love with the feeling and falling in love with myself will just naturally ripple out to them, whether I care about it or not, right? But because I'm doing it for me, it's going to be done for them. So feeling everything, I know it sounds like a nightmare and a horrible thing. It's just so sad that the world we live in today, most of the feelings that are being felt are very dense, dark feelings. But if we were in a different planetary system where most of the feelings people were feeling was uplifted and joyous, we would be feeling that, because that's what you're connecting with all the time as an empath. Empath means I am sensing. We've got sensors, very heightened sensors. So our role right now, our purpose right now, is whatever I feel in me that's deeply wounded and broken and hurts so much, my mission is to know that there are at least thousands that are feeling exactly the same way in this moment, in this time that I'm feeling it. Okay. And I'm going to show myself nothing other than complete compassion right now. Because as I show myself compassion, they're receiving compassion. They're not going to shame themselves, guilt themselves, and fight against it.
And then there's just this having this deep inner trust of knowing, like, I think that's something I doubt too and have like self doubt is just, yeah, just fully trusting that like this is enough and that just by me giving it to me is enough. And I think that as empath, at least for me, it's like I don't feel like that's enough. I feel like, no, I've got to be giving back to the world. Like, okay, I need to fill it for me, but then I need to go actively go do something to help these other empaths or these other people in the world that are willing to receive it, because I don't want them to have to go through some of this deep pain if they don't have to. Or if I learn something, it's like that's what I love about empaths is we just want to give back. We just want to keep giving back. And so is that a cycle that's like a lot of us empaths need to break, is that like we don't have to actively do something, like we legit can just exist and just be by just giving these gifts to ourselves. Is that enough? Is that what
Yes,
we the truly the
yes,
gift of what we need to break?
yeah. Okay, think about it this way. There's a light. There are many light beings around the planet. Just think of them as little light bulbs, tiny little light bulbs, right, on the globe. And then let's say 80% of these light bulbs disappear. Okay, and there's only like 20% left. And these 20% are feeling the despair of the 80% that have their lights have shut down because they're in a dark space. Now, and then 10% of those 20% also, and you've only got 10% of the world that is still lit up. Am I one of those 10%? am I not? Okay, I've just dimmed my light. I've just dimmed it. I've believed this feeling to be only mine. I've believed in this truth that's a lie. But if I'm lit up, then the ones who are you want to light up because there is an empath somewhere that's still lit up, okay, that you're receiving that energy from to keep you still afloat. Okay, you want to be another a floater for someone across the globe. We don't know where they are, but we sense each other. Okay, we know there's hope. We know somebody's lit up. We know somebody's doing it differently. We feel it. We're not only feeling the dark, we're feeling the light somewhere. So when I do it for me internally, I light up. Even if I'm still in despair, light up doesn't have to be smiley. Light up means, oh, I'm consciously aware that these emotions are here. Many empaths are feeling the same way. I'm going to show compassion to self. Boom, I've lit up. That's it. Lit up doesn't mean I'm skipping in green fields and, caressing every flower I come across. Lit up means I'm feeling dark, but I'm lighting myself up around the darkness so that other empaths can know they can light up and feel shit, but still light up. So it's like this web of connection that happens. So we need more of us to be the lit up, to be consciously aware, to be the empowered empath that's awake and saying, I'm feeling this. This is the collective. I'm going to be okay with it. I'm going to show compassion to myself. I'm going to be allowed to feel in this gunk. I'm not going to fight against it so that I can light up. Because when I light up, if other empaths light up, I will start feeling more joy because they're all feeling it. And that's the energy I'm going to connect to. And we want that energy more.
Wow. That sounds like so powerful and so like, oh my gosh, like if that's truly the gift of empaths, if truly we're so connected with each other that we can and everything, but the darkness, we don't want to be connected with the darkness or we don't want to attach to it. It's there. But if we can try to attach to this, the strength and the light beings to like build each other up, that's what we need. Because when you're hearing the words and seeing everything in the world, it's crushing to an empath. And so this is like a deeper level of like, whoa, kind of like this telepathic thing going on where like you don't have to say anything. A lot of times words get in the way. I had an issue of this too, trying to join some empath support groups recently on Facebook. It was really hard. I tried to, explain like, oh, trying to connect in my way. And it was like, oh, sorry, like, and they were blocking it and it hurt, and it's like, oh gosh, I just want to like connect with people deeply, but it sounds like I can, yeah, this is a deeper feeling of just true inner trust within, of just trusting if I can give it to myself, if I can give the gift to myself within, it's going to automatically radiate out there. And that's enough.
Yes, you're going to, and I feel like crying because this is so strong. It's like, if I can give that gift to myself, I'm proving to any other empath who's attached to me right now or who can feel me that they can give that gift to themselves too. It's like if me as a simple empath can do this for me, if I light up, the message is going to go to any other empath who's struggling and wants to light up that it's doable because some other empath has done it.
Wow. Okay. This is some deep inner trust of being like, wait, but because the mind wants to come in and be like, but I need to prove it. I need to ask someone. I need to talk to them. I need to say, or, I need to share this. I need to share this thing with them. But you're saying I don't. Like even this question on one of these groups, someone asked this question. I was like, ooh, I resonate with this. This is how I'm feeling. So it's like there's the part of me that's like, ooh, I want to go back to her and say, hey, we did an episode on this. But what you're saying that's even deeper is like, there's no point. You don't need to. Is that true? Like the fact that we just had this discussion and are feeling it, could she feel this energy movement? If I'm able to feel it for myself, would she be able to feel it? Or do I need to also go and say, hey, we have some words that you can hear to help you? That's my question.
I'm hearing that she is feeling it and hearing it completely. Like she's probably already lighting up. She's probably already feeling a lot better, and that her question was answered. And to her, in her paradigm, if she isn't aware that there are other empaths that she's lighting up, in her paradigm, she's going to feel that she received divine inspiration. She's going to feel like, oh, I think I was responded to. I think the universe answered me. That's how we end up feeling it. right? But it's really, it is, of course, divine, but at the same time, on the dark level, it's some empath around the world, some light worker around the world that is doing the work, that is gifting themselves their own gift. And then it's just like, think about it. It happens all the time. You think of somebody long enough, they end up calling you, right? And that's on such the basic, bare, boring platform, right? But if we go above that and we think of ourselves and think of all the other empaths lighting up, and can you imagine like what's really happening? So we always have proof. They call, you bump into them in a supermarket, you right? It happens all the time, right? People show up that you've just thought of. Can you imagine when you're in this deep space and you're doing this work? How many are reaching it when the intention internally is empaths and light workers of the world, those loving souls of the planet? I don't have to have their phone numbers. I don't have to bump into them in the supermarket. I just have to know that for a fact, because when I do think of someone I know, they do call. If I think of people I don't know, they're receiving.
Wow. Okay. So if there was other people listening to this that isn't an empath and doesn't get it, they would probably hear this and would not be able to receive it. Or they'd be like, these guys are woo. This is crazy. That's not possible. Like, this is crazy talk. And that's okay because those people are out there. In fact, a lot of us empaths were probably born in homes like that, that thought we were crazy. So we believed it. And now some of us are just starting to like go on our spiritual awakening or awakening journey and awakening or living a more conscious life. That's what I feel. I feel like I was unconsciously living my life and now I'm consciously living. And to just be okay with that too and not feel bad and realize, yeah, those people are out there unconsciously living and that's okay. And they're not going to believe you, but don't let their words take away. Like, it, like you've got to be stronger than that. And because sometimes I do get sucked in and like, I doubt, like, again, the self doubt, like, can this really happen? Like, I don't know if by me just feeling it that all of a sudden this girl's going to feel better. It's like, no, she needs to physically hear the thing. I have to send it to her. But it's like, no, that's the thing of the empath. It's like these are two separate. Yeah, if you're in the physical world, if you're not an empath and you don't get it and you're not attuned to your senses and your feelings, then yeah, you do physically need the thing to read because you're living in your mental, right? So that's the difference. And so we're not trying to cure the world, like kill the whole world out there because the whole world thinks this is crazy or doesn't want to connect with that or doesn't. It's just we're connecting with other empaths to build them up to feel inner trust, right?
Yes,
Connecting
because
empowered empaths together to support each other so we can like
yes,
be stronger together.
yes. And then the more of us, so instead of the dimmed down, the more of us who light up, because there's going to be so much more light, those who are disconnected have to connect. It's like a way to even allow the disconnected or those who are not interested in any of this to all of a sudden connect because there's so much light around them. They have no option, right? It's my next door neighbor has lit up and this neighbor has lit up and the one in front of me has lit up and I'm still dark and I'm seeing all this light. I'm going to be curious. I'm going to want to, and and then I'm going to light up. So it's that kind of ripple effect. We've been in the darkness for so long, and empaths have been in fear for so long and believing fears for so long that we didn't recognize that, hey, I can still be afraid, but I can still light up. It's okay if I'm afraid and I'm still lit up. I don't have to believe in it and dive deep in where I dim myself and no other empaths are I can connect to. And that's that alone feeling that comes in. That's that very alone feeling and like I am too sensitive, something's wrong with me comes in. But when we are in a happy place, and I want us all to remember like the times where I was uplifted, right? Maybe it was a full moon and I was like, oh, you know, I'm smiling at people on the streets. I'm not going after them at home to see what my smile did to them, but I have a deep knowing that that smile I gave, it's a deep knowing, just did something and shifted that person. I don't know how, right? It's that same kind of belief system. It's like sometimes I'm not in a good place and I'm walking like this, and a random, and I think these are angels, a random woman is crossing the street and she just smiles at me. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, the world is still okay. One smile to a stranger. Can you imagine if we're doing it internally? I don't have to physically see the person, but I can internally know for sure that I am providing so much love right now to others feeling what I am feeling right now. That's why we feel so deeply. That's the magic of it. The magic of it, the reason I feel so deeply is because when I feel so deeply, if I don't find compassion to that feeling, I'm not giving compassion to anyone else feeling this feeling. So that's the core of it.
And it sounds like the core of it, it really truly is, because as empaths, and at least for me as an empath too, it's always like, what can I do for others? I want to help them. I want to help them. I want to help them. I'm living out of that because it's like I get these dopamine fix. Like, oh, when I help you and you smile, then I can feel good. But I think that's the pattern that needs to break, that I need to break, is like I have to feel myself first. And I can't give a gift to others that I haven't given to myself. So it has to start like even shifting just the little words, or like, oh, wait, let me give this to myself, versus like, I want to give it to them. It's like, let me give this to me. And as I fill myself with light and love and just fill it for me, completely embody it, every cell of my being, every particle of me, completely fill it, where I'm just like oozing. Like,
Yes.
you don't get to give anything until you're literally oozing, where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to explode. I'm going to explode. I'm feeling it so much that it's like, I feel like I'm going to levitate and rise. And that's when it's like, okay, now I'm going to let the air of the levitation go to whoever wants to feel it around me. Right. Like
Yes.
that's how it, embodying it fully.
It's embodying it like that. And I'm just hearing that for a lot of empaths, you can do the compassion for yourself, like what you just said, Mel. Like, yes, I love you even when I love you anyway, no matter what you're feeling. I'm here for you. I've got your back. And everyone who's feeling this way, I love you too. There's like, because we're empaths and we really want others included, right? So
Yeah.
even in that, we can also say that, and everyone feeling the way I'm feeling, and I know the reason I'm feeling the way I'm feeling so out of whack today, it's so over exaggerated, is because so many of us are feeling the same way. I'm going to pour love onto me and to all of you at the same time, because all of them still exist within you. So we can also use that language, which helps, I think, even more
Yeah.
as
Oh, I
empaths.
love that. I love that. Yeah. Cause the truth is like, sometimes I realize I outsource, try to give what I don't have. So I see that's, I can own that that's a part of it, that I try to give to others again before giving to myself. And that's not healthy. But the truth is, I also really love seeing others happy. I really love giving. I can feel my heart within me and I love to give it. I love that. And I want, and it's hard to be rejected, to give it to people. And a lot of people that don't get it, there's that rejection and it hurts. So I realize I do have to be careful where I put my energy. And so I truly want to surround myself with other empaths, and empowered empaths that want to empower themselves to like know who they are, remember who they are, and give themselves so much love, so we can feel this love and give it to the world, and like see what fun shifts we can make in the world. Because also, I want to start dreaming again. I'm starting to do that. I want to spread it all over. So, anyway, okay.
Yeah, it
This
was.
really helpful.
So I just want to say, like, one thing I would share with you is, if 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 we can, when we're experiencing these emotions, is write them out. And it's, let's say in those moments you are being psychic. It's a psychic hit. Let's take these emotions as I'm getting a psychic hit. I remember when I was going through my dad mayhem just a week ago for a whole month. It turns out that there were other people I was bumping into that were going through the same dad mayhem. Very similar, their own story, but it was the same dad wounding, father wounding. So I'm like, so now after this, what I just channeled, I'm like, oh, so I was healing me so that the others can also heal from it, because I'm consciously aware, right? But there was that, this synchronicities was showing me that, like, wait, you're not the only one going through father wounding healing right now. There are many others out there. I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. So as I do me, I'm doing many. So yeah, it just, so if you write that down, just think of it as you're getting a psychic hit. You're getting an intuitive hit. The emotions are so intense, you're getting an intuitive hit. This is how psychics do it. They feel so deeply that there's something happening in the world. This is what the collective is feeling. This is what I'm feeling. I'm going to go into compassion right this moment. They need me. I need me. if that makes sense. Yes.
Uh, I love
Mm,
it.
mm.
Okay. Well, this was really beautiful. This really helped bring clarification. It helped calmed obviously my emotions are very high today, as everyone can see. Um, but yeah, this was really beautiful. And this really helps me just come home to self and just that acceptance and just being okay and just allowing myself to feel these feelings and honoring them and letting them come and letting them pass. And just know, yeah, when the feelings and emotions come, they probably hit deeper than maybe other people that don't have this gift. And that's okay. That also is what is able to for me to be able to love so big, which the world needs that too. And the
And
world
I
needs all
heard
of you.
it, yeah, it gives you an opportunity. It's such an opportunity. The gift is to give the opportunity to truly share compassion and love as an empath, but a spiritual empath, not a physical empath. Like, this is really a training on how I can empathetically help everyone, but from a very different dimension other than the physical help, which is what you were talking about, which is so interesting because it's like confirmation that we need to learn a different way of helping, and it's energetic helping.
Yeah. Yeah. This is really tapping into a higher realm in the spiritual realm. That the truth was I was disconnected from my entire life. And in religion, I was even more disconnected to it because of all the words. And in my head, it was so confusing. So as I've stepped out of that, I have been trying to yeah, connecting more spiritually. And it's new and it's new emotions and feelings and trust. And it's like I'm like raising the bar with myself and feeling and experiencing new things, which I'm sure you other empaths that are listening to this get it and are going through the same thing. So I get you. I see you as I'm seeing myself. Um, yeah, I guess we just continue to see ourselves and feel ourselves and love ourselves and know that's enough. And it will ripple from there. That's pretty cool. Okay. Anything else you want to share today, Rain? That's all I have.
No, I think we're good. Other than people subscribing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So thank you guys for listening today. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe so we can be YouTube buddies. That would be really fun. And comment below your biggest takeaway on this, or maybe, observe when you feel like you're the most sensitive, like in the month. Observe that. Just pay attention to that. When are you the most sensitive as an empath? Is it around your moon cycle? Is it certain, I don't know, what is it? So I'd love to hear. Comment below and make sure to check out our next episode. And we'll see you on the next episode.